All right, last class we graphed rational functions from the transformational form. So if we have the equation in transformational form, we can use our transformations and our parent function to graph those. But in some cases, we're going to have some that aren't in transformational form and we still need to be able to graph them. So we're going to learn how to find the vertical asymptote, the horizontal asymptote in order to be able to graph those. And so we'll start with the vertical asymptote. In order to find that vertical asymptote, we want to set the denominator equal to 0 and solve for x. And that's going to take a couple different things. You might have to factor, you might have to just solve a linear, but that's what we're going to do. So right here, I've got 2x minus 4 in the denominator. So I'm going to set that equal to 0 and solve. We add the 4 and then divide by 2, and x is equal to 2. That is my vertical asymptote, so I would graph a vertical line at 2. All right, for our second one here, we've got x squared plus 5x minus 6 is equal to 0. In this case, we have a quadratic, and so we know that when we set quadratics equal to 0, we can solve by factoring, or the quadratic formula. This one is one that factors, so I'm going to factor that. That is x plus 6, x minus 1. And what's going to make that 0 on the first parentheses is negative 6, and what's going to make that 0 on the second one is a positive 1. Negative 6 plus 6 is 0, 1 minus 1 is 0. Now in this case, we have two vertical asymptotes. We will have some rationals that have two vertical asymptotes. All right, there's two for you to try, so go ahead and pause the video, come back and see if you can get those two. All right, the first one was x equals negative 2/3. Just because that's a fraction doesn't mean you got it wrong. That is correct. X is equal to negative 2/3. That's just a vertical line at negative 2/3. This one here, you had to recognize that as the difference of two squares. And so it factors to be x plus 3, x minus 3. And so we've got two vertical asymptotes. Again, both of these would be vertical asymptotes. All right, now let's talk about that horizontal asymptote. The horizontal asymptote actually has three rules. So to find the vertical, we set our denominator equal to 0, and we solve. To find the horizontal, we need to apply some rules to figure that out. So the first rule here tells you if the degree of the numerator is less than the degree of the denominator, then the horizontal asymptote is y equals 0. Let's just figure out what these vocab words mean. The degree is the highest exponent. So if the highest exponent of the numerator is less than the highest exponent of the denominator, then it is y equals 0. You'll hear me refer to that as BOBO. Bigger on bottom, y is equal to 0. Okay? So BOBO, bigger on bottom, and then we're talking about the highest exponent. So if the highest exponent is bigger on the bottom, then it is y equals 0. All right, the next one tells us if the degree of the numerator is greater than the degree of the denominator. So if the highest exponent of the numerator is bigger than the highest exponent of the denominator, there is no horizontal asymptote. You'll hear me refer to that as BOTNO. Bigger on top, no horizontal asymptote. Okay? For the third one, if the degree of the numerator is equal to the degree of denominator, so my highest exponent in the numerator is equal to the highest exponent of the denominator, then we are going to divide the coefficients. And remember, the coefficient is the number in front of the x term. Okay? You'll hear me refer to that as eats DC. Exponents are the same. Divide coefficients. All right, so let's look at some examples of those. So my first one here, my highest exponent is 2 on the top and the bottom. So in my numerator and my denominator. Well, that's going to be this one right here. The degree of the exponent of the numerator, the degree of the numerator is equal to the degree of the denominator. So we divide the coefficients, and the coefficients are the number in front. So we would divide 3 over 1. When there's nothing written there, that is 1. So this was eats DC. Exponents are the same, divide the coefficients. And so y equals 3 is my horizontal asymptote. Remember, horizontal lines are written as y equals, so this is a horizontal line at the number 3. All right, for our next one here, we've got a 2 in the denominator, and there's no exponent written on the top here. We know that when there's no exponent written, it is an exponent of 1. So this is bigger on the bottom. So that is Bobo. Bigger on bottom, 0. So my horizontal asymptote is y equals 0. And then for our third one here, we've got a 2 in the denominator and a 3 in the numerator. So this is botno. Bigger on top, no horizontal asymptote. So we would write no horizontal asymptote. All right, you try the 3 next ones. See if you can come up with them correctly. Pause your video. All right, that's what you should have gotten on the bottom 3. The first one was a botno, so there's no horizontal asymptote. The second one was eats DC, and so we do 5 divided by 1, and we get y is equal to 5. And then the last one is Bobo, bigger on bottom, 0. All right, now let's see what we do with that. So we're going to sketch the graphs of rational functions. And so in many cases, you're going to have to factor first. So do realize that factoring is really crucial in this unit. Then we're going to determine our vertical and our horizontal asymptotes. We're going to find x and y-intercepts, or some points on both sides of the graph, and then we're going to graph them. You never cross a vertical asymptote, but sometimes you'll cross a horizontal asymptote. Now, we are going to go ahead and graph them here, so let's get started with that. All right, this first one doesn't need any factoring. We're ready to go. So for our vertical asymptote, we said we take our denominator and set it equal to 0. So I take x minus 1 and I set it equal to 0. I'm going to add 1 to get it to the other side, so my vertical asymptote is x equals 1. That is a vertical line at 1. So I'm going to go to 1. And there is my vertical asymptote. When we draw the asymptotes, remember they are dashed or broken lines. You never want to draw a solid line because it is not part of your graph. All right, for the horizontal, we apply the rules. And so when I'm looking at this, neither one of those has a number written, which means that they both have an exponent of 1. So this is eats DC. And so I divide my coefficients and I get y is equal to 1. So now we're going to go ahead and graph our horizontal asymptote at y equals 1. They do not always come out to be the same thing, so you do have to find each one separately. All right, the next question here is for the y-intercept. That's usually an easy point to locate, so that's why we do that. To find the y-intercept, we plug in 0 for x in any function, not just rationals, but in all functions. In order to find the y-intercept, in order for it to be on the y-axis, the x value is 0, so I plug in 0 there. And that gives me 2 over negative 1, which is negative 2. So we have a y-intercept right here at 0, negative 2. Now, the asymptotes guide your behavior. So you are always going to move towards the asymptote. So in this side, I already know what the graph looks like. If I move towards the asymptotes there, it looks like this. I still need to figure out what is happening on the right-hand side of the vertical asymptote. So you can make a table of values. You can make a table of values as many points as you want to figure out what the graph looks like, but we need at least 1 on each side of the vertical asymptote so we could determine which way it goes. So I'm going to go somewhere to the right of the vertical asymptote, which is at 1, so I'm going to go to 2. I plug in 2 here, and I get 2 plus 2 in the numerator, 2 minus 1 in the denominator. And so that's going to give me 4 over 1, which is 4. So at 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, there is my point right there. And again, I move towards my asymptotes. Now, for our domain here, it is coming from the left here, hitting all of these points, and then it jumps over the vertical asymptote and keeps going. So when we write our domain, we say it's coming from negative infinity. It is going to jump over 1. So I'm going to have a 1 there with parentheses. Remember, parentheses means it is not including that point. And then it continues on forever. For the range, we're coming from down here. We're hitting all of these points. We're jumping over that horizontal asymptote, and we keep going up. And so that is negative infinity. to 1, and then 1 to infinity. Now, these both came out to be 1, but that's because both of these came out to be 1. This is going to really match in your domain, and this is going to match in your range. All right. Our next example here, vertical asymptote, we set our denominator equal to 0, and then we solve. So I subtract 2, and I get x is equal to -2. There's my vertical asymptote, so I'm going to draw that in. X equals -2 is right here. For my horizontal, I think about the rules. And so this is exponents are the same. So this is my eats DC. Exponents are the same. So we divide our coefficients. And so that's going to be y is equal to 2. Remember, the coefficients are these 2 points right here. And so that's 2 divided by 1, and that's where I got that 2. All right, the next one that it's asking for is our y-intercept. That's when we plug in 0 for my x. That means both of these are going to go away, so it's just 3 over 2. That is 1.5 for those of you that struggle with fractions. And so at 0, I'm going to be at 1.5, and so that's that point right there. All right, now I move towards my asymptotes. Again, you can get as many points as you want in order to graph this, but you need at least 1 on either side of our vertical asymptote. So when I make my table of values here, I'm going to pick a point to the left of my vertical asymptote. It is at -2, so I'm going to pick -3. Usually, if you pick the one right after the vertical asymptote, it's going to give you the easiest number to graph. That's usually the truth. So we got 2 times -3 plus 3 over -3 plus 2. That's -6 plus 3, which is -3 over -1. And so that is a +3. So -1, 2, 3, and a +3 puts me right here. And then I move towards my asymptotes. So my domain goes from -infinity to -2. That's where my vertical asymptote is, and we are jumping over that. So that's going to be parentheses, and then it goes to infinity. And then my range is going to go from -infinity up to 2, and then 2 to infinity. All right, our last one here, we're going to get a double asymptote so you can see how that works. So my first step is to factor. You need to recognize that's the difference of 2 squares. And so when we have the difference of 2 squares, that factors to be x minus 2, x plus 2. This has 2 vertical asymptotes because when we set that equal to 0, then I'm going to have x is equal to a +2 and x is equal to a -2. +2 minus 2 makes this 0, -2 plus 2 makes that 0. For my horizontal asymptote, this is bigger on the bottom. There's no x up on top, so that would be x to the 0, and 2 is bigger than 0. So we've got 0. That's Bobo. All right, for our y-intercept, we plug in 0 for our x's. I'm going to plug it into the original because then it makes this go away, makes it a little bit easier. And so that would be 3 over -4. So -3/4 is our y-intercept. All right, I got some graphing to do here. My vertical asymptote is going to be at 2. So I draw my broken line there. And then we've got another one at +2. And so I draw my broken line there. And then y is equal to 0 is right here. All right, so I've got my asymptotes drawn in there. I am going to have to do a bigger table of values when there's 2 vertical asymptotes. So I've got a point at 0 and -3/4, which is right here. But that does not give me enough to graph what is happening in between these 2 vertical asymptotes. So we're going to get a bigger table of values going here. First, I'm going to go somewhere to the right of this one, and so that would be a +3. Then to the left would be at 1 and a -1 here. I'm going to go on both of these pieces here so that I can see what's happening. In some cases, this is going to go like this. In some cases, it'll go like this. And in some cases, it will go this way. So we can't really determine which way it's going from the single point. That's why we need more points to determine here. Now, on the other side here, I can get a point at -3. On these sides, we can only get one because wherever the point is, there's only one direction that it could possibly go towards the asymptotes. All right, so for this one here, we get 3 over 3 minus 2, which is 1, and 3 plus 2, which is 5, and so this would be a positive 3/5. So 1, 2, 3, 3/5 is going to be somewhere between 0 and 1, and so there it is. And then I just graph towards my asymptotes. All right, at 1, I get 3 over -1 times 3, which is -1. That places my point right here. Then if I place a -1 here, that's going to give me a -3, +1, and again, we have -1. So this is one of the ones that give us something that looks kind of like a quadratic here. It's going to be close to this asymptote, come here, and then go back down. And then our last one, -3. We get -5 there, and -1. This negative times a negative gives me a positive, and so we're going to have a positive 3/5 again. So that goes over here. And then we graph towards the asymptotes. And so there's our rational. This one looks a little bit different. Again, that's the 2 vertical asymptotes. It gives you a little bit more work because you got to get a few more points just to see what's happening in the middle here. Now for our domain, it's going to have a longer domain as well. We're coming from -infinity. We are jumping over that vertical asymptote, then jumping over the next vertical asymptote. So I can say this is coming from -infinity to -2. It jumps over that -2 and goes all the way to +2, and then it jumps over that one. Some people will also write it as all real numbers, and then x is unequal to -2 and +2. That works as well. For our range, it's coming from -infinity, it's jumping over 0, and then going up forever. So there's our rational functions that are not in the transformational form. If they're in the transformational form, it's always easier to graph them using the parent function and the transformations. But when they're not like that, you're going to have to think through this. So step 1, get that vertical asymptote by setting the denominator equal to 0. Step 2, apply those rules for the horizontal asymptote, and then start making a table of values to find the points that you need in order to graph. All right, that was rational graphing.